And so, here we are with part 2 of the Haslab Omega Prime review. This is RID, Ultra Magnus, and Blue Bolts, because Blue Bolts is here. Because why not? And here he is in his alt form, again, starting just like the Prime in the alternate form, because it's a little bit easier. The transformation on both of these guys is a little iffy, especially this guy. The alt form of Magnus is a car carrier, which isn't uncommon. And then we have Blue Bolts up here, who we're going to remove from the roof. He is able to just sit up there if you want him to. I mean, we'll talk about Blue Bolts in a little bit, but we're going to first obviously talk about Magnus here, who looks great. Look at this big old truck. Look at that beautiful chrome, which is packaged separately in the box. I didn't mention that with the Prime, with his chrome horns on his super form. But this is packed separately. It is worrying. I don't want to chip it because it is so nice and shiny. It looks beautiful. The car carrier looks good, and as you're probably noticing, there's a car in there. Yes, you can put a car in the car carrier, and of course, it's a fitting individual. It's RID Sideburn. Yes, the only one of the 3 we got so far. I'm hoping we can get Braun. Was the other one Prowl? I think. I don't know. I don't remember. But hopefully we can get that them 2 guys eventually. Because, hey, it's kind of weird we got 1. And there is actually enough room on Magnus here. So there's enough room for 1 inside. And then there is clearly a lot of room up here. There probably could get 2-3 cars up here possibly. There's a lot of room on top, so it's pretty good. And the whole section here is fully functional. So if you just move this little chunks out of the way, you can actually lower the ramp to get them to go up correctly. So that is pretty neat, honestly. I like that they have actually completed this. It's very nice. And to get it tabbed back in is a little iffy, honestly. But you do get this nice truck. It's a nice truck. The detailing is good. There's not really a lot wrong here, I don't think. Underneath is just parts out the yin-yang. But that is essentially just the truck mode. Now, on to the transformation, which is iffy. Again, I'm going to need the tripod again for this, because this guy, unlike Prime, doesn't have 2 robot forms. He only has the 1. So the first thing we're going to do is unpeg the side paneling on both sides. Pretty easy stuff. Can these bikes go away, please? Like, God. So you're just gonna unpeg those and then come to the back here, and you're gonna take the ramp section, and that's just gonna come up here and peg on to the top. And then from there, what you're gonna do is come underneath and take these rear wheels here. Not rear, the middle wheels. Take those and disconnect that section, which gives you the legs. Now, this is accurate to the show. He does do this in the show. You're going to move this section up and out of the way like that. And then you're going to push on these here and just rip them apart. You're just going to rip them apart just like that. That will then allow you to flip down his feet like so. And then from there, take this component that we flipped up earlier, leave it like that, flip the side paneling. Actually, no, they do go in. Sorry, I'm a little all over the place with it. I know. You're going to take this here. I'm doing it backwards. I'm just saying that right now. I'm doing it wrong. There we go. I was looking at it the wrong way. I always do. Flip that around like that and do that. Take this part, fold it down to be a knee pad, and then repeat on the other side. Again, not super difficult so far. The leg section here is pretty simplistic, honestly. It's nothing crazy. You do that, fold that down, and then fold this back around, and then come inside, fold out this, and then fold that down like so. Do the same on the other side. So you're then going to take these sections here and put them together like so. Put that off to the side. bring back in the main part of Magnus, which is a little intriguing. Second take, the camera fell over, honestly. We're then going to take the back section here. You're going to pull up on it like that. You're then going to take one of these, do that. Come around to the front just to get this out of the way because it's a really easy step. Fold it up. There's some tabs there. There's some slots on the side of the chrome. Put that there like that. Take the butt flap. That folds up like that. Take the figure, move them down, and then spread the arms. There's some slots on the side. Rotate it. And I'm going to just attempt to line it up. I don't know if it's visible or not. Because looking at it on the camera, I can't get the exact angle of it. And I'm going to come in here, rotate his head around, flip back up the chest piece, like so. And attempt to tab the head in. It's a little finicky, I will not lie. And then for the backpack, so we're not done yet. We're not out of the clear yet. Take these wings, do that, push on them, and it's going to make a horrible noise. I'm not going to lie, as you just heard. But it is supposed to do that. You're then going to fold it inward like this. So that white hinged section folds inward. And then you're going to take these blue sections that just fold it up. And these lighter blue sections will tab into the side. And you're then going to take the backpack, fold it down. It doesn't really peg in, which is a bit unfortunate. It doesn't. It just kind of sits there. And then you're going to take the waist, slot it in, look up a little bit, and here we have Magnus in his robot form. And so here we have Magnus's robot mode, which is just as flawed as you might expect. It is not a great robot. In the original and everything, it's flawed. He's 90% legs, his arms are very tiny, very cubed, and his torso, quite frankly, is hollow. There's nothing in there. He has these cool wings, the head's nice, massive backpack. It's just, unfortunately, his thing because he's kind of an afterthought retroactively in a design standpoint. He was meant to be armor. Similar to what I said in the last review about him being kind of like a 6th Ranger Megazord in Power Rangers. Sometimes they're flawed just for the big form. And, well, this guy is definitely flawed just for the big form. Not that it's a bad thing, the big form's really awesome, but it's a bit of a shame. Mine does have a bit of a nick on the face, which is unfortunate, but it's only little, not really massive, you know, kind of meh. But this guy does come with a second little thing, which is Blue Bolts, who can kind of help with the parts. Blue Bolts turns into this thing. We're not really going to talk about him too heavy. You can transform Blue Bolts into a little robot. He is a weapon master. And he's a fully original character to this set. These little missiles, just remove them. They don't do anything for Blue Bolts himself. Just fold down the legs like so. Rotate the waist around. Fold down his little feet. And then you can give him some arms. The big old guns, but the hinges go in all the way for storage. And then if you like, what I usually do with these little white missiles is I'll just throw them in there. And there's Blue Bolts. He's cool. He's deluxe sized. He's not great though. He's really hollow. He's really just accessory for Magnus, ironically. You can put his parts in Magnus to kind of fill him out a bit. I'm not joking. That's his, like, main thing that you can do with him. So what I like to do, rip his arms and legs off. Take this, fold the head around, fold that down like so. Take the hip parts, fold it in like that. And this section will actually fit in Magnus's chest. Kind of like a Cassetticon, if you think about it. And if you come down to the legs of Magnus, you can then take these sections here and just put them in there like so. Nothing too crazy. Can't really see this side here. Turn it. There's just some ports in there. These sit in. Again, trying my best because this thing is really big and hard to keep in camera. But there that is. And then what you can do with these sections, the arm sections here, is if you want, they can be used as weapons for Magnus, because he actually doesn't come with any. Like, at all. He has no weapons included with him. Which I guess is a bit of a shame, but again, as I said, I feel like even in the original design of the toy, he was the afterthought. He was the guy who forms the armor for the infinitely cooler Optimus Prime Omega Prime design. Which again, I hate these little ports on the arms here. It's not really a good way to get them in there. Once you get them in, you can just have some big wrist rocket things. Looks alright. I mean, there's no big issue with this. The articulation is there, weirdly enough. A ball joint in the head, although that's going to happen. His head's on a plank. Forward and back on mushroom joints are kind of tight. Outward, elbow, swivel. Hands are on a ball joint, so there's actual motion. Hands open and close as well. We'll get to why that's shaped like that. No waist for obvious reasons. Forward, back, out, rotation, knee. Things are falling out of them. And a tilt. So, I mean, relatively good for Magnus. I mean, as good as you're going to get with him. I mean, there's not much you could do with this design, in my opinion. He also does have a matrix, which I mentioned in the last review as well. There, that is. It is removable from the chest, if you are wondering. Both of them are removable. Just Prime's is way harder to get out than Magnus. But, I mean, as far as it goes, he's pretty cool. I don't have any issues with him. But this obviously isn't it. Because, well, a certain somebody has a combination they can do. And how you can initiate it is like how they do it in the show. They basically do a handshake. So essentially, you can take the thumb, which is a peg, and plug it in to Optimus's hand. And this is how the Omega Prime combo is initiated. Is like this. Like a handshake. Obviously not going to do it, but again, it's a little more fun if you do, honestly. So now it's time for the combination, which is kind of iffy. Now, for Optimus here, who doesn't have to do a whole ton, it's going to be practically the same as we've already seen with his combination already, except this time, remove the gun outright. Can't really use it in this form. So, if you watch the last one, flip the head in, like so, and then take his heels, fold it away, and he's done. That's all you have to do with Optimus for the time being. Now, for Magnus, it's a little bit more iffy. So, to start, you gotta just remove his arms outright. So, just come in, remove the forearms, like so. Put them off to the side for now. And now we have to do the lag thingy. So you just take it, slide it off, and put that again off to the side. So we're going to start with the legs because it's relatively easy. So first and foremost, what you're going to do is take the side paneling here and kind of reorient it for a moment. So take the shin here, fold that up, and then fold the hips in. Once you do that, take this section like so, and take this blue hinged foot area. That'll reveal this, will allow you to pull this panel out. It'll go into that hole. You can then pull the foot forward, which will allow enough clearance for the foot to sit flush. And from there, what you're going to want to do is take this apart here, fold it in, and then just leave that like so. For right now, fold that back. And as I said, we're just going to leave that like that for right now. And then obviously rinse, repeat for the other side. Just do that. pull the foot out, pull this up. Again, this blue section, push it down, push down the shin like so. Do that. Make sure everything is lined up correctly. Then take the gray section like so and leave it like that for the time being. We can actually grab Prime at this point, make sure his heels are up. And similar to his, those blue sections that you fold down actually have the clips on them, similar to his section with the gray. So if we look here, there's like a foot thing, which I'm just going to put them in again because I just had it and lost it like a dummy. And again, not super easy, but there's multiple peg points on the figure. So you're going to want to peg it into the back of the leg in the white area. And then for this section, you have to take the gray part, peg it into the port there, peg that gray section there, and then pretty much as if you were going to the alternate form, just fold up that, which will form the foot. Once again, rinse, repeat. Come to the back, peg it in, come to the side, peg it in. Again, this one doesn't like to go sometimes, that back one. Take that, fold it up, take that, fold it up, and that gives you the feet for Omega Prime. The next thing we're going to do is actually the hands, which are relatively easy. So for the right side here, you're going to take it, put it this way, you're going to actually rotate the hand like so, fold the thumb down, put it in. You're then going to make sure that the wheels are going on the outside of the forearm. And they peg in. Like so, pull that down. And that'll give you the gauntlet. Again, you can do the same trick I did with the other one if you want. And you can just peg it on to the arm like this. I'm doing it wrong. There we go, right side. There, so you just do that, rotate the hand, do that, fold the peg into the hand, fold those sections out, clamp them together, nice and flush, and there we have that. And then, of course, I don't have this done yet, which I probably would have completely blanked on if I didn't just remember it. Of course, you have to have this section folded. I still don't know how to get it to work exactly as intended because it's a little iffy sometimes, but there we go. There that is. And now we can get into the upper torso. I could tell we're going to need a boost up again already. So for the upper torso, it is again just Magnus. So you're just going to fold this section down like so. You're going to then take Magnus's head and it's going to fold back and in to here. You're going to rotate it like that, fold it in, and then that part's going to move like that. You're going to take the wings and they actually will peg in the orientation. With Magnus, they don't. But they will peg in for the Omega Prime orientation. For the back here, where the chrome's at, I'm being a little rough with it, I know. Someone's probably gritting their teeth in pain. Take this section, fold it up. These little blue side panels here, the arms are pegged into. Fold them up. They are actually removable parts. They're not like pegged on. They're on like a 5mm port. And you're just going to take the arms, and I'm not even joking, the instructions just tell you, leave them like that. I'm not joking. That is exactly what the instructions tell you to do with them. What I do with them personally is I just put them, instead of downwards, I put them upwards and point them kind of in a bit, because it's just such an awkward affair with how they do it. It's just really awkward. Anyway, you're going to take this section here, fold it up, fold out the red parts, fold that section in, fold that in like that, and then that will unleash the combine mode head, in which you have to collapse the torso by moving the hinge like so. And then you can peg that, but we're not going to do that just yet because you have to still get this whole monstrosity here onto the main body, which is not an easy feat because there's a lot more to work with here already than the prime thing. So again, using the similar tactic, there is teeth on the gray part. So you're going to take this part and you're going to try to just get it on here. So it does have a tab in the back. That is the easiest part of it to get into its secured spot. After that, try to get the side panels to go into the right place. Not as easy, but still a little easier than that main chest clip wants to be right now. Again, I'm trying to get that on there. There we go. I actually got it in that time. Do that, and then again, the chest section here does actually peg in. And then you can take the horns like so. They fold up so far before they stop after a bit of work. Omega Prime. Oh boy. And we're still not done yet, because there's still a good bit of stuff left to do for Omega Prime. Like, we're so tall up you can see the thumbtack. Yeah, my stand's getting a little overwhelmed. I cannot lie. It's getting really bad, actually. The stand is really junk, the tripod I'm using. It's really junk. As you probably noticed, it lowers on random occasions at times. But yeah, that's essentially him looking at it. Very, very large figure. And it's still not technically complete either, because Blue Bolts is able to come up to the top here and just plug into those blue shoulder pylons. That completes him. That is truly what he looks like. Jeez. What a absolute unit. And like I said, still not done because we didn't get the spear out yet. This isn't even going to fit in camera. The spear is utterly absurd. It's 2 feet long, as the original thing said. It is actually just Titan Metroplex's sword, which actually makes sense. It's massive. It splits into a bunch of components. It's massive. There will be a picture of them with it. Don't worry. Do not worry. I'm going to make the supercut review, so do not worry. That'll be its own thing if you want, but this is, oh boy, the spear is crazy. The spear is utterly massive. The figure looks great. That chrome chest piece is beautiful. Let alone everything else. Again, we're just going to take the figure here. We're just going to take the bone off the tripod because, quite frankly, I can't do it justice statically because it's so large. Look at that. It's beautiful. Retains all the articulation. I'm not going to do it because I, again, don't have the room for this guy. But, yeah. Utterly massive. Insanely cool. No issues here. Again, he can hold the spear, which, again, I will show. There actually is these little 3 like tabs. And then if you look at the spear throughout the grip, you can kind of see those 3 little things there. That's how you hold it. Because, again, the spear is bigger than the figure. The spear, quite frankly, now that I have it loose, it goes that high on my setup. That's the spear. It goes almost, it literally touches the top shelf just about. It literally touches that high. It is that insane. It's wieldable by me as a sword. Like, I'm not joking. It is a wieldable sword by a person. And so that concludes the review of Haslab Omega Prime and RID Optimus and RID Magnus. As a set, what a set. It's great. This Optimus is awesome. Again, the only issue is the RID Optimus's chest problem. Now, I know someone say you didn't really like Magnus that much, but that's just down to the design. He is exactly what he's supposed to be. He's not wrong. He's perfect. In the regard that he's supposed to look like that, he is perfect. The figure is beautiful. The chrome looks amazing. Everything looks great. Another issue is Blue Bolts does not sit up here well on my copy. I don't know if that's everybody's, but he just doesn't sit too well up there. Again, lots of stuff. I feel like I got my money's worth. Again, it's 2 commanders, which is in Canadian 150, I believe, for a commander. So 2 commanders is 340 for a deluxe, so that's 340. And it came out to 400, I believe. So about another 60 in random stuff. Again, there is stands, there's the sword, and then again, there's the exclusivity factor you must take into account with the Haslab, because this isn't going to come out again, most likely. Unless they do like a whole pick a Haslab to come back. I feel like Unicron would win that. Or Star Saber. I always wanted Star Saber. I'll never get one, I don't think, but I'd love to own them. I really would. But essentially, that is him. To give a figures the ratings, Optimus, as I said, is a 4 to 5. Ultra Magnus, he's 3 out of 5. He's exactly what he's supposed to be. He's still flawed, though. It's not going to stop me from hating the hollowness of that figure. He's just bad on his own. And like I said in that Optimus review, he wouldn't stand on his own if they sold him as a commander separately. He wouldn't have. Optimus would have worked perfectly fine, but Magnus just wouldn't have worked. He would have probably shell-formed, because he's just an odd-looking transformer. But that is it, honestly. Also, I did fix the shoulder thing that happened earlier. It came off because I didn't have the shoulder area pegged in. But yeah, this thing's amazing. I love it. The combined mode's a 5 out of 5. I love it. The way to get there is awesome. It's reminiscent of those old kind of Power Rangers combos. I love that aspect of it. It's just a giant super robot. Now I gotta find a place to put it on my shelf, because I'm not leaving it in its box its entire existence. I know that. Also, to touch on the yellowing issue before we go as well, my Magnus doesn't seem to have it, so it seems to be case-by-case basis, which is a little strange. But yeah, that's it for this review. This has been Ultra Delete signing out.